Hey everybody, so I'm working on this, so I'm trying to do a new series, like just going through code words and sharing my experience. So today we're going to start. I put a new account. It is like, okay, I'm like Q8 here. I don't know why. And I'm just going to go on and try to solve things with Python and through this process show you the way I think about programming and maybe hopefully help you understand better things about programming, hopefully. Okay, so let's start. I'll talk later about who I am exactly and what I do with programming, but basically my slogan is I'm Shefig and I'm solving the problems with code. So let's start. So we have here next challenge, Python. Okay. Okay, so we have this challenge. So if we list all natural numbers below 10 that are multipliers of 3 or 5, okay, so 3, 5, 6, and 9, the sum of these multipliers is 23. Finish the solution that it returns the sum of all the multiplier 3 and or 5 below the number passed in, okay, below, so not including. This is important. So when you're about to answer a question, you have to understand these small details. So if it says below, then if, for example, it would give us, say, 100, and 100 is, of course, divided by 5, it still wouldn't be included. Additionally, if the number is negative, okay, so if we have a negative number, return 0. Okay, so if we bring in the input, okay, the number that we'll get is below 0, we should return 0. The number is a multiple of both 3 and 5, only counts in once. Okay, so if the number is a multiplication of 3 and 5, like 15 or 30, it will be count only once. Okay, so and this is in the subjects of mathematics and algorithm. Okay, so let's do it. Start training now. And I'm not really that skillful with this platform, but let's go for it. So basically we have here the description, we have here the code, we have here some of the tests. Okay, and let's start it. So first of all, so we kind of can divide it. So okay, so what you can do, there is this way of solving things in code by just commenting what you're going to do. So handle negative numbers. Okay, return 0. So I'm just writing down what I'm going to do. Create sum. Well, so I'll have a sum variable that will hold the amount, the total amount, okay, the sum, and I'll have go over the numbers. Okay, now another thing. So you have this question in one of the every question, every exercise we have has its own kind of problem. So in this case, we need to know how to know if a number is divided by a number. So let's say a object B. Okay, so the way to do it is if this sign, which is model B, equals 0. Okay, so this basically says that if I divided A by B, then the remainder that will remain is 0. So for example, if A is 6 and B is 3, so 6 divided by 3 is 2 without any remainder, so it will be 0. But if A is 7 and B is 3, so 7 divided by 3, it's 2 with a remainder of 1, then this will be equal 1 and it will not be equal 0. Okay, so let's just start there. So let's start by if number is smaller than 0, okay, then just return 0. So this is the first thing. Then we want to sum the numbers, right? So we need a sum. So I'll just do sum equals 0. Okay, and this is of course Python syntax. Go over the numbers. Okay, so what are the numbers? So I need a loop, and the loop in Python goes something like this. Okay, so I need 4. Okay, 4 none in a range, and range, okay, I'll go for a 0, and actually I can start with higher than 0, but let's go with 0, and the number. Then I'm going to do something. Now, if I'm working on the code and I just want to keep it like that and don't get any error because I don't have nothing in the scope, I can use the pass. But this will not be useful here because we're going to write something here really fast. So what's going on? Let's first, okay, I want it to be a bit bigger so you'll have an easier time reading it. So, okay, so 0 and number. What's important here is that range is not exclusive for the last number. So it's going to be 0 till the number minus 1. So if number is 10, it's going to be 0 till 9. Okay, so this is exactly what we want. So for each step of the loop, we'll have the number, so 0, 1, 2, till the number minus 1. Okay, now we want to test if we want to add it, and the test is with if, of course. And we have two possibilities, right? Either none can be divided by 3, or none will be divided by 5. Just a second, I caps locked it. Now can be divided by 5. Both of them should be, okay, so num modulo 3 should be 0, or num modulo 5 should be 0. So this is the sign for OR. So OR is basically saying either this is true, or this is true, or both of them are true. In all of these cases, the answer for this question will be true, and then the scope that will right here will happen. And the thing is, because it's an OR, it will first test this, and if this is already true, he wouldn't test this one. So for example, if we have the number 6, and 6 is divided by 3, he will just go for the scope. He wouldn't check this one, because if this is true, all of it is true. But if we go, for example, for 10, and 10 cannot be divided by 3 without a remainder, so 10 modulo 3 will be 1. So this will be false, but then go and check if 10 modulo 5 is 0, and indeed it's 0. So it will still go and do the scope. Now, what do we want in scope? We want to add sum, and we'll use this operator, sum plus equal. So plus equal, let's say sum plus equal, and we want to add a number. So plus equal the number. And this is basically the same as doing sum equals sum plus a number. Okay? So this is a shorthand of why I did this. This is really basic Python things. Okay, so we already answered that, right? We can delete it. And this should do the job. Now, after we finish looping all the numbers in the range, we can return the answer. So we just return the sum. And this should work, so let me just test it. Okay, maybe we have some bugs. And we do have bug. Why? Invalid syntax. Okay, so I'm programming in a lot of languages, and actually we're now in Python. In Python you don't have OR like this. Okay, you have and OR like this. So this one is more like C++, C#, Java, things like that. Python is OR, right, like this. So let's test it again, and this should be working, yeah. And all of this being true. And let's do an attempt. Attempt is for checking it with all the other tests. Okay, and everything passed. So we did great. Yeah, so let's submit it. Okay, now I do suggest this in the next challenge before doing it with me. Try maybe to do it with yourself. Go to Code Wars and maybe look for the multiples of 3 or 5. Okay, let's submit this. And then we'll calculate, and maybe I'll get improved rank. I get it 10 points, which is nice. And we can go for the next one. How was it? It was quite satisfying. We have here the description. We have other solutions. Like some people like to, to do really sugar coding using the sum, and using a sum on this is like a set or a not exactly a set, okay, but this is other way of doing it. This is pretty close to what we did. Okay, you see you can do the range without putting 0, because if you don't put 0, you just use it from 0 to this number, inclusive. And this is another way, probably not that good. This is just going on the range. All kinds of different solutions for the same problems. You sometimes can learn from them. So let's go for the next kata. It's kind of funny. So kata is like from karate. And let's go for the next one. So let's go. And we'll do one more for this video. Okay, so complete the method function so that it converts a dash on underscore the unit word into camel casing. Okay, okay, this is cute. The first word we need in output should be capitalized only if the original word was capitalized. Okay, so okay, so here it's not converted, here it's converted. That's okay. Okay, the next word should be always capitalized. So this is camel casing. Okay, camel casing is the way that you start with the lower letter, and every new word you do a higher uppercase. Okay, so let's do this. This is kind of cute, and I'm going to run a bit faster on this. So again, I can do like okay, keep the first word first letter as is. Okay, so this is the first thing I need to remember. Every word. So in every word, every other word should start capitalized. Okay, so there are a few techniques here of Python that we're using, and let's start. So first of all, I want to get all the words. Okay, so the words is actually the text. If it's being splitted, and I might be writing this wrong. Maybe I'll open some Google and find the right solution because I don't remember everything with Python in my head. So I'll split it using this, right? So I'm splitting using this maybe, or this. So how can I handle this? So let me see. I'll go for Google and split using char. Charts, maybe charts. Okay. So not Swift. Okay, so they should be in Python. Okay, multiple character font string. Okay, so you split on the above to result. Okay, so this is a split with nothing is splitting by spaces. Okay, now split, and here we have like with regular expression. Okay, I want to do it without regular expression if possible. Okay, no regular expressions. This is the other way around. No, okay. Okay, I'll try another thing. Python split str by set of chars. Okay. Maybe I'll have something here. So I go to W3 school and I look for the other syntax, and here is it with a string. No. So this is quite challenging, right? Just a sec. Okay, this looks a full split string by multiple. Okay, no, thank you. Okay, so it still works with pattern. Okay, Oh, this is pretty useful. Okay, I'm keeping use replace. So let me show you. Just a second, please. Okay, so how would we do it? So first of all, I'll just do this. Words equals, no, I'll do text equals text with a replace, and I'm going to replace every one of these into this. So basically, if I do have an underline, I would replace it with a dash. So now when I do words equals text split with dash, I will get the same result as if I did with only this or this, with both actually. So okay, so words equals text split, and here I'll have the list of the words, and now I want to do it, right? So first of all, for every, okay, so let's do for a word in words. Now I do want to count the first one, right? So I can use something like do enumerate, I think. Well, so this will actually bring me both a word and an index, so I can do something like this. So it brings me the index to the I and the word itself to the word. And now I can use it. I can go if I is different than 0. Okay, so if I is not 0, which means it's not the this word. So, and I want to have all the words together, right? So let's say fixed str equals an empty string for now. So if I is different than 0, I want to go for the first one. So a word in place. So fixed str plus equals. So I want the first letter. So word in the place 0. I want it to be in uppercase. So I think it's upper. And plus all the rest. So the rest is a word. So this thing is slicing. This basically means start from index 1, which is the second letter. The first letter is on 0. So index 1 till the end. And I want this to be a lowercase. And I'm pretty sure this is the way to do it. So this will be good for the every word but the first one. Else, I'm just going to do. I'm going to take the word f in the place 0 as it is. So it's going to be just word 0, no upper. Okay, plus the rest. Now I can actually improve this by doing some special like testing and see whether I is 0 or not. But you know what, for now this is okay. So this will build the string part by part, and I'll, at the end I'll have a fixed string ready. At least this is what I hope for. So let's try it out. Okay, so I think this is pretty good. Let's have a look. So I'll test it. Do we have any error? Okay, and of course we have error. Yeah, okay. Bring index out of range. Okay, what happens if the index is out of range? And so the index here is out of range. So we have a possibility. This is really good because if we checked only on words that have more than one letters, okay. But let me think. So okay. Okay, so if I is different than 0, so this is not going to be pretty. If length of a word okay, let's start with this. Okay, first of all, in the split I can do ignore. I can ignore empty string. Okay, so Python split ignore empty strings. Let's do it. My internet is a bit slow. Okay, let's have a look. So one of the things when you working on solution is you have to know how to ask the right question. Okay, so here we have the split, and this is the simple one, and if we want to ignore it, let's see. This is kind of okay. No, again, this is kind of confusing. Why this thing returned in split? Okay, the question. So split. I know there is a way to ignore it. So you know what? I'll just handle it in code. So okay, so let's do it like this. So if len of the words equals 0, then continue. So it will continue to the next step of the loop, and it will actually be ignored. Great. So here, if it's not 0, okay, let's do something like this. So we can actually do something like that. So if it's 0 and it's not, the len is not 0, and we'll take the first letter here. And if it's not 0, it will say the first letter without turning it to upper. And for both of them, okay, I can just do fixed. Look, this is the same, right? So we can use it. So so after I do the ifs, I can do fixed str plus equals this part. Okay, and now before doing it, I just have to make sure that it's not empty. So if len of a word is larger than 1, then I can do this. 1 second. Great. Okay, sorry for that. Maybe I'll edit it out, probably not. So, okay, so I'll fix this. Let's see how it works. Okay, so let me test it. And this is better, and still I got an exception because len of word, this is the wrong one, right? So this should be like this. Okay, let's do again. Test. This is more challenging than I thought. Okay, so 4 of them passed. I'm pretty sure that this is a good code. Let's attempt it. And it seems that all of them passed, right? 204. So pretty good job. Let's submit it. So guys, thank you very much for joining me for this. This is already almost 25 minutes. And I hope you will learn some things. And I know I moved a bit fast and didn't explain everything. We did get to a new... No. Not to a new rank yet, but 19 points. And so let's have a look. So hopefully this was helpful. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me, and I hope the next video will be more coherent in a way, and I'll have a chance to explain some more about how I use Python. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next tutorial.